The Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion project was just killed by the federal appeals court, and Rachel Notley in Alberta is mad as hell and she's not going to take it anymore. She says she's leaving the federal climate plan. Today I'll tell you why this is nothing more than empty bluster. Alberta Premier Rachel Notley wants you to believe that she's come out swinging against the federal government and their lack of action after the federal appeals court squashed the Kinder Morgan Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion approval, sending the entire project back to the drawing board after 5 long years. Notley's so mad that she's breaking up with Catherine McKenna and her federal carbon tax. Just watch.
Yet as important as climate action is to our province's future, I've also always said that taking the next step and signing on to the federal climate plan can't happen without the Trans Mountain Pipeline. And so, today, I'm announcing that with the Trans Mountain halted and the work on it halted, until the federal government gets its act together, Alberta is pulling out of the federal climate plan.
Well, that sure sounds like tough talk. Maybe Notley has finally figured out that paying a carbon tax does not buy a social license. Our weather tithing is not going to make the opposition to this pipeline go away, and clearly it hasn't, because this court challenge was launched after the inception of Notley's social license purchasing carbon tax. So Notley's leaving the federal climate plan. But what does that really mean for Albertans? Well, let's hear it from Notley in her own words when a journalist committed an astounding act of journalism during yesterday's press conference with Notley. Here.
It's said to be withdrawing from the National Climate Plan. What does that look like? What would you actually be doing differently now than you were doing yesterday?
Well, you're quite right that the impact of our participation in the national plan comes into effect when the price goes up to $40. So right now, there wouldn't be an immediate impact, but it comes down to our government's role in terms of promoting the plan overall and their ability to count on us to be part of it.
What does this mean, Premier, to Alberta's carbon tax?
Our carbon tax as it sits right now, the Alberta Climate Leadership Plan, stays in place. That was the Climate Leadership Plan was something we put in place before the federal government was elected, before we got into the conversation about Kinder Morgan or the Trans Mountain. But we've always been very clear that signing on to the Pan-Canadian Framework or the federal government's plan was conditional on the pipeline.
Did you get that? Notley's leaving the federal climate plan, but it means absolutely nothing to Albertans or our pocketbooks, because we get to still keep paying Rachel Notley's carbon tax, which will go up when Rachel Notley says it's going to go up. The only thing different now, in Rachel Notley's own words, is that Rachel Notley will no longer use the whole of the Alberta government as an advertising agency for Catherine McKenna's plan to tax the rest of the country. This actually does even less than Rachel Notley's week-long wine ban in retaliation to the BC government's opposition to Trans Mountain. Notley didn't think anybody would bother to ask her what leaving the climate plan would really mean. She thought you would just eat up her baloney, no questions asked, without ever bothering to ask what it really means for Albertans and our bottom line. Well, now you know. Notley held a press conference yesterday to tell you that she really plans to do absolutely nothing to push this pipeline through. I don't care who's taking my money in the form of a carbon tax, Notley or Catherine McKenna. I just want it to stop. We have nothing to show for any of it. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Silicon Valley and big tech love to censor us conservatives, but we have a way of getting around that with our own Rebel Media mobile app. It's available on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Download the app, give it a try, and help us fight internet censorship wherever you go.